Hi, I want to talk about my babies, but they're not real human, they're fictional as fuck, they're not real. See, I call myself a writer, and I've built a fictional word and put it in MS Word, write it, vomit words in it, and call it peak fiction. Anyways, I love the characters I've created. They're my babies. I gave birth to them. Actually, they're my son and daughters. They're my children, and I'm their mother. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I personally wants to talk about my favorites. They are because I put 3 different characters together and call it a dynamic trio and call it a day. But they work well. Honestly, they work well. I love them. That's why I'm talking about them, right? I wouldn't talk about them if I hate them, if I despise them. But I don't know. The final arc in the book really, solidified them as a trio. It solidified them as friends. They're more like friends now than just individuals lumped together. But it's just I still feel the euphoric feeling of finishing a book, and I can't think straight right now. You can tell I can't even talk straight, but I love what I have written. It's been a year since I started the book, and I'm really happy I've written something so good, this good, with these different kinds of characters just interacting and doing something for the plot. It's amazing. It's magical, but these 3 characters specifically made it better for me, made every day feel nicer as someone who sits in front of the laptop and type shit and hallucinate. But I wanna do better things with them. I think I haven't mentioned their names. Okay, so there's this trio, right? In Psychos Inferno. Psychos Inferno is the title of the book. And Ilvin is the main protagonist. And then he met Kariko. And then met Nero. They never had a nice introduction, they're pretty spicy. They're full of spunk. You wouldn't think these 3 together would work. I mean, Ilvin is a crybaby, and Kariko and Nero are a bunch of assholes. Like, how will that work? But the more the story progresses and the more they interact with each other, it's just Ilvin seems used to them, and Kariko's character is now starting to become more natural for the story to just. She's just acting like that because, well, she's Kariko. That's her whole thing. She's crazy. She's a maniac. But the other boys are just like, she's normal. She's normal. That's her normal thing. She's not the craziest person we know. And then there's Nero. Sometimes they can't stand him. He's being bossy. He's just for the rest of his life, he's like the leader character that's engraved in his mind. He's the leader everywhere, and he's just bossing the other two around. He's bossing Ilvin and Kaiko around, and Ilvin and Kaiko are just like, why are you with us? Jesus Christ. But after the final arc, their dynamic as a trio became more, you know, not just interesting, but it became more clear that they're pretty nice as a group of individuals. Nero likes to, Nero likes to overestimate himself, and Kaiko is the crazy one, and Ilvin is like, Ilvin have different personalities from what I have written him. It's not even intentional, it's just, he's this really happy guy. He's just always nice. He's the friendly one in the group. But when you fuck with him, when you mess him up, he becomes the crazy one, and that's his entire thing throughout the story. By the end of the story, that's just how it shows Ilvin can be crazy too. And now, this trio I've created is now just a bunch of crazy characters. Ilvin's just denying it, Kaiko doesn't, and Nero as well. A pretty face. You wouldn't get it until you read it. You wouldn't get it until you read it. Nero is crazy, but a pretty boy, You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. But I love the way they are. And you know what's more interesting about this? They are hanging out with each other. They treat each other as, I don't know, someone closer to them one way or another. But they never know anything about each other that much. They don't know why they are acting like this. They just accepted that, hey, this guy is crazy. They just accepted it and just started the fact that, hey, we're gonna be together for the rest of our lives. They don't even know where this guy came from. Why does she act like this? It's just that they think it's fun when they are together. Maybe they are denying it, but they have this connection that just never set them apart. And it's not even just because of the plot. They are entertained by each other. Yes, that's how Nero sees them. But Ilvin's like, let's be together. And it was the best thing they've ever done throughout the plot. Be friends. Nero have the chance, the future. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? Wait. Nero have the possibility to be a villain or an even worse antagonist, but it's just because he met these other people, he became a bit more, morally ambiguous. That's the thing. I don't even understand what that means, but I'm just gonna say whatever I want to say. But you know what I mean? Nero, he's morally gray even from the start. Just Ilvin and Kaiko are just there to stop him from breaking into insanity. But if you're going to read the story, Nero have a right to be an antagonist. Nero have the right to be crazy, especially in book 2 that I'm going to write soon. Just Nero is strong enough to remain, you know, a thinking individual and not just someone with crazy motivation to do bad things. Nero's still conscious. He's still halfway human. But yeah, like I said, Nero could have been an antagonist if it wasn't for Ilvin or Kaiko. Wouldn't be the nice guy that we will know. But that's what the plot says. Actually, not even because I didn't plan it just for that. I didn't plan them to be together. That's just how the story progresses, and they start meeting each other, and they cross paths, and now they are changing their lives just by being friends. And I love how it's been going on right now. They're the best thing I've ever created. Even if they're just fictional, they make the best of my life. Just thinking about the three of them interacting, it's so fun. They're different personalities, and please read Psychos Inferno. I love Psychos Inferno, and I think I'm going to read it next year once I'm over with the hangover of me writing it for a year. I want to enjoy it as a random book, not just something I created. I want to know. I want to see it by the lens of just a normal reader, and well, I hope you enjoy Psychos Inferno. I'm ending this soon. I don't want to talk anymore. I've been talking for like minutes.